Poor John, poor John, poor John, poor John. He was given a view of an avatar. Poor John, he wrote Revelation. Poor John, he was a simple man from a simple time. Poor John, I showed him my tale. Poor John, you have to think about the man. Very close to God, he was shown a vision by God. Poor John, he was scandalized. Think about it for a minute, poor John. He saw through a window in his mind, provided by God, the future. So think about it right there. Socially declimatized. He was declimatized. He looked at the future and saw these things of the future and didn't know what to think. And then his vision was brought to a number in a file associated to a being, and he was shown the number 666. And he was shown it to be the number of the being. Then he was shown a close-up window in time and space that opened up in the future for him to see the face of the man that would be known moving forward as the Beast. So John looked in this window in time and space, a prophet shown a vision. He was a prophet of the second level. He had the ability to see, but he did not have the ability to understand. He was shown but not explained. So he had to make his own conclusions about what he saw. Poor John, poor John, poor John. He was not a prophet of the first level, those who can hear. He was a prophet of the second level, those who can see. But he was not a prophet of the third level, those who can understand. Poor John, he could also only see what God wanted him to see. So poor John, poor John, poor John. God showed him the future. Poor John, poor John, poor John the prophet. God showed him the future. And it was shocking to poor John, a simple man of the time. Wouldn't it have been shocking to you also, to be fair? So think about that before you criticize poor John. Poor John was a good man. And did you know that he also loved you? So remember that poor John was chosen by the great God, the Father God of all the heavens, the Father of Jesus, the one Jesus said would come. Poor John was chosen by the man God. It is all a beautiful tale. But the most beautiful part of it is that it is truth, exactly as it is spoken. Now, this is the most powerful kind of truth, except that some truths are also so beautiful when you add a little bit of a tale. But the truth exactly that is spoken is the truth that is spoken from man to man. It is the truth of honesty, the truth of being up front. And poor John just didn't understand. So poor John was shown a vision of the God. Poor John was shown many things, but not so many at the same time. He did not have the choice of what he could see, but was shown only certain things on time. So poor John the prophet saw the man he would name the Beast. After all, he was so scary to him. Kundalini Yoga, Naga Siddhi, powers that abound. Poor John, imagine a man from the time. Oh my gosh, all this must be of the devil. But poor John did not know that he was being shown this, because this was. And God thought it a little bit funny at the time when he was showing John, but left him to figure it out by himself. So the Father God was showing poor John his avatar, the Vishnu avatar, the Dash avatar, the avatar of God of all the stories. So this vision was shown to John. Poor John, poor John, poor John. Put yourself in his place, a man of the time. Seeing all these things, a God in his power, with Kundalini power and so many little tools. Poor John, he did freak out. So when poor John got out of his vision, the first thing he did was turn right away to pen and paper to write it down. And then he made it his mission to spread it to everybody. That's how shocked he was. He needed to tell everybody this tale in Revelation of a man who was so scary to him. Poor John, poor John, poor John, he thought that the Vishnu avatar was the devil. Poor John, poor John, poor John, little did he know that God was showing him this tale for a reason. Not to fight the devil, leave the devil alone. You probably don't want to mess with those stories. Just be a good person, don't go to hell, go to paradise, be a being of God. But poor John didn't know that he was looking at his own God and a being, and he named him the Beast, and God found it very funny and odd. So poor John gets a tale, a little funny tale, because he called God a beast. Poor John, poor John, poor John, yes, I am very scary, but if I am to be a beast, then I am at least the emperor of the beasts. A tale to poor John, who was shown vision of the Avatar in the future and loved people so much that he needed to tell them. He's very scary. Poor John. And there are many tales of poor John, as all people can also sing their tale of poor John as they imagine it. And, this is truth exactly as it is spoken. That took place exactly as it is spoken. But others can add to this story and embellish it with new tales of poor John. Our friend, poor John that we love. So sing along, and make your own songs of poor John, who was so shocked by his loving but scary God.